But they didn't do that. So for him to come in and perform like he did, get the goal, didn't really give any centre-forward a kick. Can't remember any real chances of note that Arsenal, certainly the forwards anyway, created.
Showed
did
great
very well.
leadership, which you expect from a player of that sort of experience. I thought he directed his team fantastically well. You know, he's a proper leader, and basically he and his teammates made Arsenal look like a team fighting for relegation. I mean, how they are fighting for a Champions League place. By watching this game, you just can't understand that. There's simply no emphasis of trying to win the ball, trying to create chances, and the way they defended, my God, it was really a bad day for Arsenal.
And they've now just picked up 6 away points from a possible 27 for Arsenal. So in this Premier League weekend that got off to such a dramatic start, with Liverpool going back to the top, coming from behind on Friday at St Mary's with that 3-1 win. Huge win for Burnley yesterday. Another one for Brendan Rodgers at Leicester, and Crystal Palace up to 39 points with a 1-0 win at St James's. 1-0 Everton as well at Goodison. And one more game to come, of course, with 5th place Chelsea taking on West Ham. And Chelsea know if they do win that, they themselves will go into the top 3 above Spurs and Arsenal. They would have played a game more. But as it stands, in terms of 6 games each left to play in terms of the race for those Champions League places, Spurs 64, 1 ahead of Arsenal and Chelsea, and 2 ahead of Manchester United. Everton up to 9th, as I say, and Cardiff really are the ones trying to claw back that deficit. Huge game for them next weekend, away at Burnley, who are now 8 points ahead of them after that win at Bournemouth yesterday. He wasn't in the original starting 11 for Everton. Phil Jagielka is now alongside Calvert-Lewin.
Guys, well done. Phil, the 3rd straight win and another big win against a top 6 team. How does this one feel?
Oh, it feels great, obviously, to keep a clean sheet as well. Trying to build a little bit of momentum towards the end of the season, and I say the boys did fantastic all over today. Obviously, we got 1 goal, but we could have had a few more.
Not a bad feeling to beat Arsenal as well, if you personally.
Yeah, obviously they're a very good team. They've proved that all season, and it's nice for us to, you know, obviously we beat Chelsea as well not too long ago, so it's nice to keep the momentum going and beat one of the so-called bigger boys, especially at home.
Dominic, great result, but should it have been by more in the end, do you feel?
I think so. We had a few good chances during the game. Perhaps if we was more clinical at times, it might have been a few more, but I think ultimately we got the win, and it's the 3 points that count.
Phil, when you were thrown in at the deep end just before kick-off, did you expect to be a match winner?
No, I'm not normally a match winner, full stop. But no, it was good. Obviously, we got the ball in the box, long throw, and I think Dom's going to claim an assist. I think he put it across today. So
of course,
right person, right time. You know, they're the best goals. The little tap-ins, you know, from 2 or 3 yards. But say a team effort today. Yeah, he's worked really hard up front to keep him busy all day, and it was nice to come away with a win.
Well, on that theme, how hard do you feel the whole team had to work to achieve a result like this one today?
Very hard. I think from the start of the game we set the tempo, and it was tough, and I think towards the end of the first half we kind of felt it a little bit, but I think we came out in the second half strong, and we kind of maintained that pressure, and they had large amounts of the ball at times, but I think we showed quality when we needed to, and we got them on the counter-attack, and I think the game plan worked to a T.
Phil, what's the target now? Top 7?
Just to keep winning games, keeping clean sheets, winning games, and see where we are. I say it's all about momentum towards next season and see where it takes us.
Great result. Dominic, you're the Premier League man of the match. If the match winner would do the honours.
Well done, mate.
Well done, guys.
Cheers, thank you.
3 league wins in a row, back-to-back wins it was for the first time under Marco Silva. Are they showing signs of where they're capable of getting, given their investments?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly in the last few games, they were much the better team today. The first thing, forget about ability in any football match. The first thing that should be a given from any football team or any football player is that you roll your sleeves up and you give absolutely everything. Now, Everton did that today. Not only did they do that, they were the better footballing team. And now, I didn't think at any stage during that game, once that game kicked off and after 2 minutes, you could tell that Everton were up for the fight, up for the battle, and up for everything else. And they were better, I thought, in every single department. Thoroughly deserved to win the game. On the flip side, when you look at Arsenal and you think, what's at stake for them? to go above their local rivals if they won this game. There was none of that. Everything that Everton had, Arsenal had none of it, which was it was so surprising when you think what's at stake for them.
It's a real head scratcher, isn't it? 7 games from the end of the season with the incentive Alan alludes to.
Incredible. And you think about the away record they have for this season. They're still in the hunt for a Champions League place.
Sloppy all round, Peter, weren't they?
So bad. And, you know, I mean, a pass like that, which is like a 20-yard pass, one of the most simple things, a throw-in directly out for a goal kick. And it was just, I mean, I don't know what happened to Arsenal. For me, you say the first thing you need to do is to come and show you want to play. I think the very first thing you have to do when playing a game is to turn up. And for me, Arsenal did not turn up today. And I have no idea, you know, what that team talk would have been. I don't know what's been said in the dressing room. I don't know what the manager said. You come in, the guy that leads you in is a guy he just shows nothing in the whole game. Özil showed absolutely nothing until, well, I think we'll show that later. But until he was back on the bench.
You can put up with misplaced passes from everyone because we've all done it and we'll continue to do it. But what you can't put up with is a lack of effort and all players not running around as a football team. And I don't think Arsenal did that today. I don't think they were prepared to put the hard work in.
Have they got a mental problem away from home? Because I mentioned 6 points from the last 27 is incredible. And in that time, there's only 3 other teams got a worse record. Bournemouth, Huddersfield and Fulham. I mean, that is absolutely damning.
And also, look at the fact where Arsenal are. Where Arsenal could have been today. Despite that record, they could have gone 3rd today. 3rd in the Premier League with an away record like that. Staggering.
And Liverpool, Manchester United and Manchester City in the same period have 18 points on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it is a difference. You talk about Manchester United being on a run. It's been stopped a little bit in their tracks. But they have kind of like a steady sort of home and away record, and they move forward. Arsenal has done it by playing at home, you know. And you think with is it 5 games remaining?
4 now.
No, 5 games altogether, right?
There's 6 altogether.
6 together, 4 away from home.
Yeah.
You don't think Arsenal's got a chance to go in to get one of those 4 places? They will just slowly drop if this is the level that they produce in away from home. You know, I'm still kind of really baffled on how they could turn up like that and defend like that. I think the goalkeeper ends up being the best player in that team. It could have been, I mean, 1-0 doesn't tell the story at all. It should have been 3-4, maybe even 5. I mean, Everton was that good in the second half. They had so many counterattacks. But I think we talked about at the beginning of the program that the lack of goal-scoring ability in the team was evident today. Any other team with a goal scorer would have punished Arsenal today. Right?
Well, we asked the question before the game, why hasn't Mesut Ozil started an away game since Boxing Day?
Yeah.
Well, you saw the reason why today. Now, people might look at that and say, well, there was other players. Yes, but he's the captain. He's got the armband on. He's the big earner of Arsenal Football Club. When players are looking at the manager, giving him the captain's armband when you're going away from home, and you get this, and this sort of sums him up, I think. If he wants to get on the end of that, break his neck to get on the end of it. Show a determination to get on the end of it, that you want to score a goal. Do something. Now, and that's the baffling thing is that the manager, despite not putting him in to start in the starting lineup since Boxing Day in the away game, he decides to make him captain today. Now, and I said it before the game, so I'm not just saying it now. What message does that send out to the other players?
Well, how would you feel if you were his teammate?
I wouldn't like it at all. I would say, hang on a minute. I've been in this team. I'm working my socks off, home and away, and I'm giving you everything as a manager. And quite clearly you have an issue with this player because otherwise you'd play him in every game. Clearly you've got an issue with him and you don't trust him. And yet you decide to give him the captain's armband. I wouldn't be happy. Not at all.
You can't underestimate the importance of a captain. In a game where they were clearly struggling today, a team struggling needs someone to rattle them together and say, guys, we've got to do this or that, something different.
Would you have an issue if you were the Arsenal goalkeeper now that Mesut Ozil was your captain?
I would have had an issue if I had been the right fullback. You know, I would have had an issue, full stop, with a player like that. If you have that kind of position in world football, in your club, status within the fans, if you have that, you must give more. And I appreciate when Mesut Ozil plays at his top level. He is an incredible football player and someone that I would go on and pay to watch him.
How often do you see that, though, Peter?
No, that's my point. You haven't seen that for, 2 years now? And you know, I don't know what Wenger was thinking, trying to possibly build him up and, you know, keep supporting him, keep giving him positive messages and hoping that he would produce what we know he can produce. I think today, and I said this pre-match, I think today was a test. The manager tested him out. I'm going to give you, we have a bad run away from home, I'm going to give you a responsibility to go and lead my team and change that. Because I think he's looking at his players now in order to find out who am I going to keep and who am I going to sell. And I wouldn't be surprised if in his mind that Ozil...
We're only talking about him because he was the captain today and he's been an issue in the manager's thoughts in regards to team-wise. We could have been talking about anyone's performance. It wasn't just him today. I think we need to make that clear. I think that I don't think there was one player who was at it today. Now, you can perhaps carry one, maybe two, but today Arsenal were all over the pitch, were awful.
You say you didn't see much animation on the field. We saw a little bit off the field. You alluded to it. There was a challenge from Mustafi, and then Mesut Ozil got off his seat.
This is it. First of all, the challenge. I mean, the centre half where both of them were bugged. I don't think they were particularly well playing. So this could have been a red card, a yellow card. I'm okay with that. It's not, you know, it's not stopping someone from getting a direct or stopping a goal-scoring opportunity. But it is still an offence that could have given a red card. Now, if you look at Ozil here, he's been taken off the pitch. This is the first time of all of this day that he shows just a little bit of temperament or a little bit of care to his team. I mean, why did he wait until he was substituted to show that? He should have done that when he was on the pitch.
We don't know who he's aiming the jacket at, whether it's at his manager or whether it's at the Everton bench. We can't speculate on that, but quite clearly you can see him throw his jacket at someone.
OK, Marco Silva's calmed down since that particular incident. He'll be delighted as well with his third consecutive victory. Here are the thoughts of the Everton boss.
Marco, congratulations.